We are quickly headed towards the next address. How North American Rail research powers Indian railways and the world. Joining us on stage is the Principal Investigator 2 at MxV Rail USA. Please give it up for Dr. Ananyo Banerjee.
Thank you, ma'am, for the introduction, and congratulations to the Urban Infra Group for organizing such a great event. So, I am Ananyo Banerjee. I moved to the US close to 20 years ago. Had been working for MxV Rail, which some of you might be knowing by the name TTCI, Transportation Technology Center Incorporated. But we got rebranded. I'm just going to talk briefly about that. So, in these 10 minutes, I don't want to throw a bunch of numbers and technical content towards you, so I just wanted to keep this very simple and understandable. So we as MxV Rail, we do the railway research and testing for the entire North American railway industry. So the North American railway industry is all privatized, and so we are owned by the different railroads in North America, which comes under the Association of American Railroads, but we are independently operated. And in the map, you can see we are located out of Colorado, near the Rocky Mountains, and that's where we have our facilities. So we went through some transition in the recent few years, and from 2022 onwards, we invested close to $55+ million, and we have more than 28+ kilometers of track, which is only for research and testing, and we have almost like 213,000 square feet of lab and office and training. And why I'm actually showing all of this is because we have a long history of working with the Indian railways and the Indian railroad industry, and with this vision that the Honorable Prime Minister of India has for the Viksit Bharat. It's very important to understand what's going on globally. So where North American railway research, how that can be used in Indian railways, that's where some of the things we are doing to bridge that gap between North America and India. And so at MxV Rail, we have more than 240 different dedicated railroad experts, which including 110 professional engineers with PE licenses, 9 PhDs, and we represent, as like many other North American companies, we have a very diversified workforce from 16 different countries working at MxV Rail. So quickly, our journey, we started back in 1934 when Association of American Railroads, or AAR, was established, and then in 1982, we assumed the care, custody, and control of the Federal Railroad Administration's TTC, which was known as the Transportation Technology Center in Pueblo. And then in 1998, our company's name became TTCI, or Transportation Technology Center Incorporated, a subsidiary of AAR. And then in 2021, we rebranded as MxV Rail. So what does MxV stand for? MxV is the formula for momentum. So that's mass times velocity. So because we do mostly a lot of scientific research and testing, that's why our name is a formula of mass times velocity. And in 2022, we started our multi-campus research facility, where we have tracks and trains, and I'm going to talk about that briefly. So what we do is we do testing, we do consulting, training, standards work, and research. And if I look into testing, we have full-scale on-track and lab testing. This is just an aerial view taken by a drone footage to show our tracks just on the outside of Rocky Mountains in Colorado. And we have some very specialized lab testing. I got some questions today from some of the vendors over here, or companies who have their booths over here. We have some enhanced lab environment. We do different AAR standards testing. We do ARIMA tie testing. Tie is actually the word used for sleeper in North America. And we do have facilities for doing accelerated fatigue testing. I manage the rail and rail welding program. One of the the facilities that you see here, one of the big equipment is the rolling contact fatigue simulator. So where you can have a full-scale wheel set running on rails, and you can see what's happening at the wheel-rail contact interface. So it's one-of-a-kind instrument that's only one in the whole world that's at MxV Rail, where we can do this kind of testing. But we have a long history, as I was mentioning, with testing back in India. We have done bridge testing in Mumbai. We have testing for wheels for rail coach factory and others. Wagon testing. These are some of the photos from some of our engineers who have worked in the past in Indian Railways. And we do consulting. We have a software department which makes different kinds of softwares used in railway research. So vehicle track interaction, train dynamics. We heard about the anti-collision system Kavach. Related to that, we have been doing a work on positive train control, which is a department just dedicated 50 engineers working on positive train control, how that whole thing can be made better for North American railroads as well as for the global railway community. We work on instrumented wheel sets, and we have different track and infrastructure projects. And back in India, we have kind of like trained RDSO people on using vehicle track interaction and train dynamics software, which is called New Cars. And that has been used. We have helped RDSO develop the instrumented wheel sets in Lucknow, and some of the track and infrastructure projects we have been involved with. On the top of that, we also focus on derailment-related cleanup. So when there is a big derailment, there is hazardous chemicals or crude oil that actually spills over. How do you tackle some of that? Terrorism-related activities that can happen on a railroad. So we have a dedicated team where we can train firefighters to deal with those kinds of chemical spills and how to control those kinds of derailments. And we have a standards department where we look into improving the industry standards for freight cars and locomotives. There are 4 different sub-departments under that particular standards department. And what we have done in terms of standard is also supporting Indian Railways, assisting RDSO in their standards development. We did a whole bunch of crash testing in Lucknow many years ago, which was in the news. And that's where MxV Rail worked with RDSO to improve some of the crash-worthy coaches. That particular software is actually from our New Cars, where we can show where a bogie is kind of like, shifting, which we call as hunting in scientific terms, how that relates to wheel-rail contact forces and how those can be modeled so that you can actually design your bogie in a much better manner, or the wagons. Just a quick video of the crash testing that we did at RDSO. Again, a partnership that MxV Rail had been doing between North America and India. So just to mention, we have our own train. So we have our own heavy haul train that runs on the track every night, and we can actually gather the data. So like when I am actually looking at evaluating rail wells and different rails in our track, the train is running every night, and that's how we are collecting data as more and more tonnage is being gathered. So we work with the different railroads in North America who donate the train to us to do the research and testing. So to look at what we can do with the next generation, when we are talking about a lot of new innovations, when we have to sometimes move 1 or 2 cars, we look at 1 locomotive pulling that. How about if you think about moving carriages and wagons without a locomotive? That's where we are working with a company called Parallel Systems, where it's completely remote controlled. This is the testing we had been doing on our track, where you can think of just 1 wagon moving on the track safely, as well as there is no need of a separate locomotive to pull that. So that's the kind of next generation technologies we invest in. And so to finally conclude, these are the facilities in North America, in Colorado, that we have on-track testing. We have impact wall where we can crash test and can see the impact on the different wagons. Warehouse, heavy-duty maintenance facility, the training for the derailments, and all the other capabilities that we have. And finally, a big part of our work is the AAR Strategic Initiatives Program. From Association of American Railroads, we have a program every year. We have like 30+ projects to improve railroad efficiency and safety. And that's where we do a lot of different projects for the North American railroad industry. This is our main track. It's called the Facility for Accelerated Service Testing, or FAST Loop. And we have completed more than 140 million gross tons just in 1 year by running our train over and over again. So 24 weeks of operations. We look at broken rails, broken bridges. We have even derailed our train. But that's all for research and testing to understand what can cause derailment. So finally, if you go to our website, you can actually download, it's free to download, more than 1,000 technology digest articles, 4-page articles that you can read about everything that's applicable for your railroads, for your own research and testing. And there's a lot of articles that goes back to the 1950s for our research that we are doing. And finally, I have got some flyers over here. If you want to meet me after my talk, we are hosting a big conference, actually 2 conferences, the International Heavy Haul Association and the World Congress of Railway Research. So those 2 will be happening in November in Colorado Springs in Colorado. If you have never been to Colorado, I definitely welcome you to come and visit Rocky Mountains as well as attend these conferences. And if you want to follow MxV Rail, just scan the QR code, and then you will be able to know more from us. And if you want to talk to me about attending these conferences, I will be happy to talk to you. Thank you very much. Sure. Absolutely.
Thank you. My goodness, well, that was exciting, exciting, exciting. To present a small token of appreciation on our behalf, I now request Mr. Rajesh Maheshwari to kindly come on the stage and join us. Thank you very much, Mr. Banerjee, for taking out time from your busy schedule, gracing the occasion and sharing the insights. Why do I feel that we are headed towards another energizer? Do we?
Wonderful idea and very thoughtful and a great exhibition. I really congratulate not only for organizing this thing.
यहाँ पे आने के बाद मतलब 2 दिन हमने स्पेंड किया और 2 दिन में हमें काफ़ी सारे अच्छे क्लाइंट्स मिले, इवन सम हमें रेलवे की भी कुछ ऑफिसर्स मिले।
when we had installed our stall, we were getting all the supports, all the manpower, all the equipments and tools that we needed. It was really pleasant experience over here.